Did you know there are dog breeds that are literally illegal in several countries around the world? That's not an exaggeration. In some places, simply having one of these animals at home can result in a fine, seizure of the animal, or even criminal charges. Governments in dozens of countries studied the track record of these breeds and reached a conclusion clear enough to become law. Today, you're going to meet the 10 breeds that built this reputation around the world and understand what made them so controversial. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell because this is exactly the kind of content we bring you every week. And if you already know the channel, drop a like before we continue. It helps a ton and takes 2 seconds. Now, let's get into the list. Number 10. American Bulldog. Originating in the southern United States, the American Bulldog was developed to work on farms, especially for controlling large livestock and game like wild boars that could weigh over 200 pounds. We're not talking about a dog bred to sit on the couch. We're talking about an animal selected across generations to take down heavy prey, withstand bites, and never quit. Its impressive physical strength and high pain tolerance made it one of the toughest working dogs ever developed. In experienced hands and with proper socialization, it can be a loyal, balanced companion. The problem is that when handling is inadequate, and it often is, the results can be severe. Because of its size and potential to cause serious injury, breeding or owning one is restricted in countries like Denmark and Singapore. It's not the most famous name on this list, but it earns its spot for a good reason. People rarely see this dog coming. Number 9. Bandog. The name bandog dates back to the Middle Ages, used for large dogs kept chained during the day and released at night to guard property. That origin alone says a lot about what this breed was built to do. The modern version usually comes from crossing the American Pit Bull Terrier with different types of Mastiffs, a combination designed with one clear goal: to merge the imposing size and raw power of the Mastiff with the courage, determination, and intensity of the Pit Bull. The result is an animal that inherits the best and the most dangerous traits of both bloodlines. In places where one or both parent breeds are already banned, the bandog usually inherits the same restrictions automatically. When you combine 2 breeds already considered high risk, the end product rarely slips past the authorities. Number 8. Neapolitan Mastiff. Also known as the Mastino Napolitano, this Italian giant has a history stretching back to ancient Rome, and it's not a peaceful one. Its ancestors fought in Roman arenas and marched alongside military legions on war campaigns. These dogs weren't bred to please. They were bred to intimidate and dominate. Today, its main role is guarding property, and it does the job with a physical presence few animals can match. The Neapolitan Mastiff can easily top 150 pounds, with a massive head and a bite to match. Even as a companion for experienced owners, some countries impose strict rules on breeding it. In Singapore, ownership is completely banned, while other regions may require a special permit just to keep one at home. An animal with 2,000 years of combat history behind it isn't underestimated for nothing. Number 7. Wolf Dog. Several breeds emerged from crossing domestic dogs with wolves, like the Czechoslovakian wolf dog and the Saarloos wolf dog. And here, the challenge isn't just size or physical strength, it's something more fundamental: behavior. These animals retain part of the wild instincts of wolves, instincts that thousands of years of domestication stripped away from conventional dogs. The result is an animal whose behavior is genuinely harder to predict. Depending on how they're raised and socialized, they can be balanced companions, but when something goes wrong, the reaction can be that of a predator, not a domestic pet. Over the years, attacks involving these animals have been recorded, mainly against children. Norway is one of the countries that bans breeding them, and the reason is simple. When you put wolf instincts inside a dog's body, the normal rules of canine behavior stop applying completely. Number 6. Borbal. The name Borbal in Afrikaans literally means farmer's dog, and that description captures exactly what this animal was built to be. Bred in South Africa to guard rural properties in an environment where the threats were real and serious, the Borbal was selected to be large, fearless, and completely devoted to protecting its territory and family. Despite its reputation as a protective breed that's usually patient with children when well trained, its size, strength, and intense defensive instinct demand an owner with real experience, not just good intentions. A poorly socialized Borbal, or one in the wrong hands, is no small problem. That's why the breed faces restrictions in countries like Denmark. It's the kind of dog that when it works is impressive, and when it doesn't, the consequences are as big as the dog itself. Number 5. Dogo Argentino. The Dogo Argentino wasn't bred to be a companion animal. It was bred to hunt wild boar and puma across the plains of Argentina, on open terrain, in packs, chasing prey that fights back. That's the context in which this breed was developed and refined. To achieve that result, its creator, Dr. Antonio Norris Martinez, crossed the now-extinct Cordoba fighting dog with several other breeds, among them the Great Dane, the Dogue de Bordeaux, and the Irish Wolfhound. The goal was to create an athletic, resilient, fearless animal capable of working as a team without turning that aggression on its own hunting partners. The result is a strikingly beautiful dog, pure white, muscular, with a physical determination few animals can match. Because of that potential, ownership is banned or heavily regulated in countries like Australia, New Zealand, and Portugal. An animal bred to take on pumas isn't taken lightly by legislators around the world. Number 4. Presa Canario. Originating in the Canary Islands, the Presa Canario was developed as a guard and working dog, sturdy, territorial, and carrying a protective instinct that doesn't fade easily with light training. Although it was only officially recognized as a breed in the early 2000s, its reputation had already been built before that, in the worst possible way. The fatal attack mentioned in this video's hook involved exactly this breed. The case went to trial, the owners were convicted of homicide, and the debate over controlling large dog breeds took on a completely different scale in several countries. Today, the Presa Canario faces restrictions in countries like Australia and New Zealand. It's a breed that arrived at official recognition already carrying a history most other dogs never accumulate. Number 3. Fila Brasileiro. The Fila Brasileiro is one of the oldest and most distinctly Brazilian breeds on this list, and also one of the most unusual in terms of officially recognized behavior. Bred to perform multiple roles, guarding property, hunting large game like jaguars and wild boar, the Fila developed over centuries a very specific combination of traits: an extremely strong protective instinct and a deep, natural distrust of strangers. That distrust isn't considered a flaw in the breed. It's such a defining trait that the official breed standard itself acknowledges this behavior and recommends caution during show evaluations, because the Fila Brasileiro can react badly even in controlled settings, toward people it doesn't know. In countries like the United Kingdom, breeding and ownership are completely banned. It's a breed whose own official standard admits it isn't for everyone, and that honesty says a lot about the animal. Number 2. Tosa Inu. Known as the Japanese Mastiff, the Tosa Inu has an origin that sets it apart from nearly every other breed on this list. It wasn't developed to hunt, guard, or work on farms. It was developed specifically to fight other dogs and to win. Dogfighting competitions in Japan follow their own rules and rituals, and the Tosa was bred to fit into that world with an unusual, unsettling trait. It faces its opponents in silence. No barking, no growling, no warning sound of any kind. Just physical force and endurance applied quietly and relentlessly. That history has made the Tosa Inu a target of severe restrictions in several countries around the world, including Malta, Norway, and Denmark. A dog bred exclusively for combat, one that attacks without a sound, doesn't go unnoticed by the legislation of any country that takes public safety seriously. Number 1. American Pit Bull Terrier. At the top of the list is probably the most controversial, most debated, and most misunderstood breed in the world. Over the decades, the American Pit Bull Terrier has accumulated a volume of cases, statistics, and laws that no other breed has matched. Its image became strongly associated with severe attacks, and in many cases, the numbers back that association up. But here's where the story gets more complicated. Many experts, veterinarians, and researchers argue that factors like poor breeding, lack of socialization, improper training, and in many cases, deliberate use for intimidation and illegal fighting play a far bigger role in these incidents than genetics alone. The breed wasn't originally developed to attack people, and many individual dogs live peacefully with their families for years without a single incident. Even so, because of its real physical potential and its accumulated history of incidents, breeding or owning one is banned or tightly regulated across dozens of American states, Canadian provinces, and countries around the world. It's a breed that carries the weight of a reputation built over decades, and one that divides opinion like few others can. 10 breeds, 10 stories of strength, instinct, and potential that led governments around the world to write specific laws because of them. But there's one point most experts agree on, and it's worth taking seriously. Education, socialization, proper training, and responsible owners matter far more to a dog's behavior than genetics alone. Size, strength, and natural instinct deserve respect, but how each animal is raised makes all the difference. The most dangerous dog in the world isn't necessarily one specific breed. Often, it's simply the one that ended up with the wrong owner. If this video surprised you with a breed you didn't expect to see here, drop a like. It's quick and helps the channel grow a lot. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming, because there's a lot more curious content on the way. And tell me in the comments which of these breeds surprised you the most. We read every single one.